such an exciting time of year as the weather warms up and everything starts to blossom and bloom outside. It's also a very busy time of year. The sap is running, which we have been cooking down into maple syrup. Eggs and raw milk are plentiful, which is so nice. Today I'm going to show you some of the breakfast recipes that we've been enjoying with some of these ingredients this spring. Most days, we don't spend too much time on breakfast. We have animal chores and we homeschool, so breakfast is usually just sourdough toast with fried eggs, scrambled eggs, or homemade yogurt, things like that. But every few days, we like to mix it up and make something a little more fun like a Dutch baby pancake or sourdough Pop-Tarts. Whether it's super simple or a little more fun and creative, it always gets the job done. The first thing I'm going to make is a really basic frittata. This is pretty much just a quiche without the crust. The base is 8 eggs, a few cups of milk, and some shredded cheese, and then I usually add some breakfast meat if we have it, and some vegetables like peppers or spinach. Today I'm going to use some venison sausage that we had in the freezer and a green pepper. Just mix this all up and bake it in a cast iron until it's set, usually about 30 minutes. The next thing I'm going to get started on is a French toast bake, which we will use the following day. Whenever we have leftover bread ends that don't get eaten or the random bagel or piece of toast left over, I always stick them in a bag in the freezer and save them to make a French toast bake. This is an easy breakfast casserole that you make up ahead of time and leave in the fridge overnight. The following morning, all you need to do is make the butter and brown sugar and cinnamon topping and stick it in the oven. It's a really great option for a busy morning and everybody loves it. I always serve it with a glass of raw milk or some yogurt to add some extra protein. The next recipe is our favorite Dutch baby pancake. A Dutch baby is an eggy puff pancake that you can serve with maple syrup or fruit and whipped cream. You can make the sourdough version or just the regular version that I'm making here. Both of those recipes are on my blog, stayathomesarah.com. I love to make these for a few reasons. First, it's an easy recipe to put together first thing in the morning and then go get ready for the day or read my Bible while it's baking, because unlike traditional pancakes, I don't have to stand at the stove and flip pancakes, which is nice. It also uses up a lot of eggs, which we have in abundance from our hens right now. It's filling and high in protein, and everyone is always happy to have a reason to enjoy some of our fresh maple syrup. Yogurt is something that I always have in the fridge for an easy breakfast or a quick snack. We pick up raw milk every week, so after our milk pickup, I use 1 gallon of milk to make yogurt. The easiest way to make yogurt is in the Instant Pot that has a yogurt setting. All you need to do is let the milk heat up to kill any bacteria that might interfere with the yogurt culture. Then after it cools down, add plain yogurt from a previous batch or an individual serving of store-bought plain yogurt. I usually start with a fresh yogurt culture every few batches because I've noticed that my yogurt doesn't turn out quite as thick if I use yogurt from a previous batch too many times in a row. Then I set the Instant Pot for 24 hours to let it ferment. The trick to getting thick yogurt without straining it is to not stir it after it ferments. After the 24 hours is up, I just take the whole Instant Pot liner out and put it in the fridge. Anytime you stir or transfer it into another container, it gets a little more runny, which is totally fine, but if you leave it undisturbed, you'll get thicker yogurt. I have all these instructions in a post on my blog, which I'll link down below. Homemade granola is so much healthier and cheaper than store-bought granola, and I always try to have that stocked in our pantry as well. All you need is oats, pecans, or any other kind of nuts, coconut oil, maple syrup, cinnamon, and salt. This recipe is on my blog, so I'll link that one too. The next recipe is a fun treat that is very popular over on my blog, and that is sourdough Pop-Tarts. It starts with a batch of sourdough pie crust, which you can either make in a food processor or by hand with a pastry blender. You can either make the Pop-Tarts right away or let the sourdough pie crust ferment by wrapping it in plastic wrap and storing it in the fridge. If you long ferment the dough, it's only going to get more flavorful, and you can really leave it in the fridge for quite a while. So I like to have some of this pie dough made and ready to use, not just for pie, but for these Pop-Tarts or chicken pot pie. There's really a lot of things that you can use it for. If I do make these sourdough Pop-Tarts for breakfast, I always make sure to serve them with some raw milk or some eggs and sausage because they really are more like a dessert. So I gotta add a little more protein and nutrition, but that's okay because they are tasty, and once in a while we do like something sweet for breakfast, especially with a cup of coffee. The next breakfast I'm making is just something that we like to call diner breakfast. It's just scrambled eggs, bacon, and hash browns. But it reminds me of something you would get for breakfast in a small town diner, so we just go with that. To make hash browns from scratch, shred a couple of potatoes and fry them in a hot cast iron skillet with some oil. Add some salt, and you're good to go. Let them get brown and crispy, and then flip a whole section at once. Make up some scrambled eggs and bacon, and you have diner breakfast. A breakfast video would not be complete without sourdough blueberry pancakes because that is one of my kids' most favorite things to have for breakfast. This recipe is on my blog, stayathomesarah.com, so I'll link this recipe in the description too. I hope you're enjoying the longer days and warmer weather wherever you are, and hopefully this video gave you some inspiration for some new recipes to try this spring.